Hello. The question we're going to be answering today for the media product is, in what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms or conventions of real media products? Well, when I first started doing this project, the first thing I wanted to do was start studying a bunch of trailers, from thrillers to actions to horror. I wanted to get a good variation of trailer conventions, so I used a lot of different genres. The main thing that I came across in every single genre was fade to black or cut to black. Nearly every single shot consists of this. It's become its own little convention, because it's used so much that it's almost like a blinking eye. It's releasing a little bit of information about the film with every single one, but it's teasing. It's very effective. It's teasing about what's in the film without giving too much away. It's also really effective for creating suspense, and it's good for showing drama. So this is something that I wanted to use in my trailer, definitely, because I wanted to relate a lot to real life trailers and have that be relatable for audiences. And also it looks professional and dramatic, and it creates a good atmosphere, so that's why I used it in mine. Another thing that I noticed from studying horror and thriller, and even sometimes action, was most of these trailers would start off with establishing an equilibrium, so the happy family life, the perfect world, before this problem is introduced, this bad guy, this monster, whatever it is. And I noticed a lot of it was often shown through the lighting, surprisingly. All the family scenes were shown with really warm lighting, a lot of yellows, a lot of outside greens, blues, just very pleasant kind of colours. But then whenever this problem is introduced, everything becomes a lot more darker, a lot less saturated, and a lot of the colours drain. And a lot of thrillers often introduce the colour blue, like, throughout. Now, two thrillers that actually do this that you can see is Dead Man Down. Even the cover is very blue dominated, as well as orange, very thriller based. And then Prisoners, which I talked a lot on my blog about. Even the introduction with the equilibrium is greyish, but everything becomes very colourless throughout. It becomes very grey, blue, dark. This is really effective, showing that happy life and this now darker life. And I made sure that I used this idea in my trailer. So everything in my trailer starts off very warm, a lot of yellows. Outside when they're playing football, I made sure it was really sunny that day that we filmed. Then in the post-production stage, when I'm editing, I was turning the saturation up, and I was putting all the colours to a more yellow, warm kind of colour to emphasise that fact. And then as soon as the father loses the daughter and he collapses to his knees, that was my key point where it changes from then on. Every shot from that point becomes a lot more grey and unsaturated and colourless. I did this on purpose. It was to make it look more dark, I did this to set a more dark tone, basically. I followed this convention for a reason, because it's effective. People respond to it. It's a visual understanding of the development of the story. So that's why I used it. Another convention that I came across was the fact that a lot of trailers get straight into the action, have it flowing like throughout the entire trailer. I actually wanted to go against this and challenge it, because I wanted to have the audience connect with the family. I extended the family part so that the audience could feel more attached to the family characters, having a bigger impact when that family's broken, essentially. I think it was a very valid reason to go against this convention, because I think the audiences that I showed responded really well to it. They felt more shock and more fear for the characters, because they'd seen more of them, and they'd seen them in this happy state, and they'd been broken. So I think it was effective. Out of Reach was the ending title for my trailer. I had different ideas for titles, but I just thought this one was the most effective. Although, from our research, I found that a lot of thrillers actually go with one-word titles. I think it's because it's more bold and almost mysterious, because it doesn't give a lot away about the film. Examples, Prisoners. Drive, and Trance. Well, the titles are effective, but I just think it's very hard to come up with a one-word title that doesn't come across cliche. I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to have something that was bold, but not cliche. This is why I came up with the title Out of Reach. I think it's very bold from the mouth, out of reach. I think it's got a memorable kind of tone to it, out of reach. It gives away the impression of what the film's going to be about without giving too much away, and that's what I wanted. So I challenged the convention, but I kept its principles. You might notice from watching my trailer and from looking at my posters and magazine covers that I didn't use a lot of names throughout this project. That's because I worked solo, meaning I wrote, directed, created, filmed and edited this whole thing by myself. And I didn't want to see my name over and over and over throughout this project, and I think that would be quite irritating for an audience. So for that reason I decided to take out all the credits for these names, going against the convention of what films usually do, having names throughout the trailer. So while I go against the convention of having names dotted in throughout a trailer, it's within reason. It's because you wouldn't want to see George Walker, George Walker, George Walker throughout the entire thing. So there's a reason for it. Something that's quite big with action films and sometimes thriller films is the big reveal of the villain. It's usually about 2/3 into the trailer, so it's like a big reveal of usually a big name actor and this recognisable kind of villain. I do not have the budget to obviously have a well-known actor or the rights to any well-known characters. So I actually avoided having a big reveal for the villain. So the villain of the story is the kidnapper of the children. And in the trailer, all you see is the back of his head. And the reason for this is because it's just not necessary. This film is produced in a very realistic, naturalistic world. So there wouldn't be an arch nemesis that's over monologuing his motivations and things like that. He's just a bad character that's taken his kids for obviously very bad reasons. So you don't necessarily need to see his face unless you watch the film. It also kind of adds an element of mystery. You never see the villain's face. So it goes against that convention, but there's a reason for it because it creates mystery and I don't have very many high budget actors. Okay, so they have been the top ways that my media product uses, develops and changes forms and conventions of real media products. Thank you.